Hey there, good Sunday morning. It is the 28th of December, the last Sunday of 2025. And I posted a video a little bit earlier saying we've got an interesting end to the year with 3 different types of precipitation in less than 3 days. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into it. However, I do want to start with this morning. Temperatures really were able to cool down in parts of the region. And that's where you can see 1 degree is what we dropped to in Windsor Locks, 1 in Willimantic. I kind of wanted to explain why that happened. We had clear skies, calm winds, and snow on the ground. That just helps the heat escape so quickly when we've got that added effect on the ground. So temperatures were able to drop. I think we've warmed up quite a bit more as I take you to these temperatures here. Now this morning at 10:19, we're up to 16 in Hartford, 7 in Middletown, 14 in Windsor Locks, 14 in Willimantic now. So we definitely have warmed up. I also wanted to share a photo that I haven't had a chance to describe or respond to yet, but this is Denise just sent this one is in with these, like, it's hard to tell, it's kind of a blurry picture, and I think it's the way I saved it, but some frost forming on the snow. It was a really interesting thing here this morning to see, because it really did cool down. But we do have a winter weather advisory to tell you about. That is this evening. It goes into effect at about 4 p.m., but I would say after 6 p.m. is when we really have to pay attention to the chance for some freezing rain. So I'm here to answer any questions that you might have. I know it's a big travel weekend. Also, we just saw a lot of snow, so now we've got ice on top of that. What does that look like? So feel free to ask any questions, whatever it might be here on your Sunday, last Sunday of 2025. We're going to take a live look. This is in Litchfield right now, where there's a lot more cloud cover. We're definitely seeing that increased cloud cover here this morning. And then this photo right here is in Mystic, where we got a little bit more sunshine right now. So if I go ahead and go to your satellite and radar, you can see once that populates in, that cloud cover is increasing. So soak in the last of the sunshine while it's here, because we're going to see cloud cover through the rest of the day. And zooming out, you can see this next system. It's a huge one. It's going to provide blizzard-like conditions up in northern Minnesota, Wisconsin, parts of the UP there, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. This is the system that we are tracking here in Connecticut, and it's going to provide 2 different types of precipitation for us. But we just saw a big snow system. What was it? Friday night, right? It ended yesterday morning. So 3 different types of precipitation in less than 3 days. So what I'm watching right now, obviously you can see that snow over in Omaha. I don't think we see the snow from this system. However, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on central Pennsylvania right now. State College getting in on some of the freezing rain action here. And the concern is that kind of what I was saying earlier when we were talking about how cold things have gotten this morning, how much snow that we've got on the ground right now. Our ground temperatures are by far cold enough for rain to freeze on contact. So that's going to be an issue as we go through the day, even as we warm up a little bit more. Somebody's asking, when does the freezing rain end tomorrow? Here we go. We'll just throw that in right there. Great question. So the freezing rain, the time frame that we're watching here is about 6 p.m. to 3 a.m. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this graphic here, because I think this kind of shows the down low here. Up anywhere from a glaze up to 0.2 of an inch of ice is possible. It doesn't sound like a lot. And truthfully, 0.2 of an inch is not enough to, usually not enough to create like huge issues like down power lines and stuff like that. But it's still enough to create issues on the roads. Even a glaze of ice is enough to cause issues on the roads. So Travel impacts are expected. You can kind of read the fine print there at the bottom, 6 p.m. to about 3 a.m. So 6 p.m., I think honestly the biggest impacts here are going to be this evening when temperatures are, like air temperatures are at or just below freezing. So that is going to be the issue there that we're going to be keeping an eye on. So I'll go ahead and step you through our future radar with temperatures because I think that does the best job of showing exactly what we're tracking here. So the temperatures are in the teens and 20s right now. We'll warm into the 30s this afternoon, just a little above freezing. I don't really think we see much, if any, melting today, though, just because of the cloud cover and temperatures only lifting a little above freezing there. And then here comes this system. So after about 6 or even 7 p.m., we'll start to see that freezing rain move into the region here. And just watch those temperatures. They're in the 30s, even the upper 20s in certain areas. So we'll have to watch not just the actual air temperature, but also the ground temperature as well. And at this point, ground temperatures are going to be cold enough to see that freezing rain. And freezing rain, in my opinion, is the worst precipitation type because it's rain that freezes on contact. So that is what we're going to be watching for us here. Now, as we continue through the overnight hours, watch what happens to temperatures as we approach midnight, starting to warm up quite a bit. I still think we have that potential for maybe a little bit of freezing rain, especially in those higher elevations through about 3 a.m. But you'll notice temperatures are going to increase through the overnight hours. Kind of an interesting system here as we wake up tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, as you might be heading off to work, whatever it might be for your Monday, we're going to be in the 40s. So I don't think we see a freezing rain potential after about 3 o'clock in the morning. Now we're still going to be monitoring because we don't know, what roads are going to look like. We also talked about this yesterday. The temperatures this morning being below 15 degrees. Rock salt does not work. In these conditions, though, tonight, they will. So I would definitely encourage you, if you can, maybe just sprinkle a little bit of that out there because snow is one thing, ice is definitely another. And I'm sure that roads are going to be okay, just knowing how our crews are, but it's always good to approach these situations with a lot of caution. You might also tomorrow morning just have to add a little bit of time into your morning routine to get that ice off of those windshields and those cars and stuff like that. So great question there. So 6 p.m. to 3 a.m. is your threat for freezing rain. Then as we go through tomorrow, it's going to feel like fall almost, 40s with some rain. So we kind of are, it's just an interesting system here, but then the rain kind of moves through in the midday hours. So I think actually we've got the chance for rain all day long, but we will see some breaks in the rain and then just kind of that final push of rain through the midday and early afternoon hours. Temperatures are in the 40s there, and then they're going to start to drop. So we will cool into Tuesday, which I can kind of show you here. And you can also notice maybe a few flurries for parts of the area. That usually, this time of year, that means that wind is picking up because those flurries are being brought to us on our future satellite and radar by lake effect snow from Lake Ontario. So we can tell that wind is going to be a big factor for Tuesday. So again, 6 p.m. to 3 a.m. is the big time frame to pay attention to for tonight into early tomorrow morning. And of course, we've got the NBC Connecticut Today team that will be in tomorrow morning tracking all of this out for you. I also wanted to break down the precipitation type because freezing rain is my least favorite precipitation type because it's not fun. When you think about it, because what's happening here is it's really warm air above the surface and it's freezing on impact. So it's rain, it falls as rain, but it freezes as ice on the surface here. Sleet's kind of fun because it melts and then it refreezes. So that's those little ice pellets. Snow is just snow, and then rain is just rain. And we have the potential, we saw snow Friday night, freezing rain tonight, and then rain tomorrow. 3 of the 4 different types of precipitation in less than 3 days. So bring it on. Connecticut trying to go out with a bang here this last week of 2025. So we do have that winter weather advisory, but of course, ice is something to take seriously. And even if it's a minor accumulation here, we're still going to be tracking it through the evening and early overnight hours, 6 p.m. to 3 a.m. And that winter weather advisory is populating here on your screen for just about all of the state, excluding the shoreline. I would say the shoreline has the best chance to stay just a little too warm for ice, but I would say from New Haven down into the city, even over towards like Old Saybrook, Route 9 there, the chance for maybe a glaze of ice possible. I would say the best chance to not see ice would be the southeastern shore of Connecticut. And here is the map that we were showing this morning. So the chance for up to 2/10 of an inch of ice. Like I said, that shouldn't be enough to knock down power lines or anything like that, but still enough to, create some issues on the roadways. So something to pay attention to. And all of that ice, we think of all the snow that's on the ground right now, likely going to be very slippery as we're waking up tomorrow morning, even late this evening. I can see impacts as early as 6 p.m. I do also want to mention the wind that's going to be picking up behind this system. So we'll notice that wind gets a little bit stronger by Monday afternoon and Monday evening. Maybe those wind gusts up to 20, 30 miles an hour. And then as we go through Tuesday, picking up quite a bit. I could see wind gusts potentially up to about 40 miles an hour, maybe even a little higher in those hill towns there. So it will be very breezy, and that is going to lead to quite the feels like temperature as we go through your Tuesday. So let me go ahead and have that populate in as we track this out for you. The feels like temperature on Tuesday, blustery. The wind is not going to be our friend there on Tuesday. And it does have the chance to bring a couple of flurries. Again, that lake effect snow from Lake Ontario travels quite a long way, but we've seen it happen with winds this strong this time of year. So here it is, Monday afternoon. Look at that. Feeling like 40, and then bam, falling pretty quickly by the evening, feels like the 20s. And then as we head towards Tuesday morning, there's the single digits, some of the teens there. And I think it's going to feel like the teens all day long on Tuesday. So that's 4 p.m. Tuesday. Feels like temperature, the wind chill there in the teens. So yeah, not going to feel the greatest as we head through Tuesday. I think Wednesday, that wind will get a little bit better, but still going to be rather chilly out there. A lot of people have also been asking, what does the new year look like? Well, let's go ahead and show you this graphic. This one's a fun one. As we ring in the new year, we're watching it for Connecticut and also, of course, New York City, where for the ball drop there. I think temperatures at midnight Wednesday night are going to be in the 20s, the low 30s at the shoreline, and then over towards New York City. But there actually, if you read the fine print, there might be a chance for a couple of flurries, maybe some light snow showers late Wednesday night into Thursday. Right now, it does not look like a huge deal. Minor accumulations. Again, I'm saying this 4 days out, so things could obviously change, but there's a potential for maybe a couple of little snow showers into early 2026, early on Thursday. So really interesting there. And then as we look ahead to the first few days of 2026, most of the country is going to be warm. We are not. We are looking at cooler than average conditions for the first few days, maybe even the first week or two of 2026. And that puts temperatures for us highs in the 20s and 30s. So that's kind of what we're watching for us here. Feel free to ask any questions. I'm not seeing really much of anything just yet, but of course we will continue to track all of this for you. It's 6 p.m. to 3 a.m. So 6 p.m. tonight to 3 a.m. tomorrow, that threat for the freezing rain. And it doesn't, honestly, with how low the accumulations are going to be, the numbers honestly don't matter, just because a glaze can create issues, as we know. Very slippery out there. I'm thinking of those untreated surfaces. The snow, walking across snow, going to be crunchy, even a little slippery as we go into early tomorrow. But then temperatures will be warming into the 40s. So we'll start to see a little more melting there. Going to be interesting because a little bit of a temperature roller coaster on top of the snow that we've already seen, the freezing rain that we're going to be seeing, and then rain behind that. So this is the time of year where it's a little bit of a headache. We have to look at temperatures at all of the layers of the atmosphere and the ground itself to see exactly what we are going to be monitoring here. So let me go ahead and see if there's anything else I want to show you before we let you go for the day. We will continue to have coverage later on this evening as this system rolls on through and into tomorrow as well. Just a very interesting system. I'm looking for one graphic here. Here's that high temperature graphic for you to show the next 10 days, or I'm sorry, the next 7 days here, as we're in the 30s today, the 40s on Monday, then back in the 20s, the 30s and 20s after that from Tuesday on. So very interesting system to say the least. I'll go ahead and end you with a look at our 10-day forecast. As it populates in, we'll see those temperatures lifting into, again, the 40s tomorrow, but that evening potential for ice after about 6 p.m. to 3 a.m. today into tomorrow morning. Windy on Tuesday. That is just going to make it feel like the teens all day long, the 10s there. And then Wednesday, that is New Year's Eve, the 30s. Going to be in the 20s as we're ringing in the new year, Wednesday night into Thursday, maybe even a few little snowflakes there. And then highs are in the 20s and 30s for the first few days of 2026. Nothing notably jumping out to us for like next weekend or anything like that, as maybe kids will be heading back to school. Unfortunately, by the end of the 10-day forecast, I'm just thinking of the kids who are not wanting to think about that right now. But we hope you have a good new year, whether you're enjoying it here or anywhere else, if you want to stay up till midnight or not, that kind of thing. Okay, we have a couple more questions here. Does it look like there will be more snow possibilities in January? And possibly, actually, I was just looking at our at the Climate Prediction Center's outlook of the 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook. So actually, I can go ahead and show you that here as it pops up eventually. Because it definitely is favoring some wetter than average conditions, not just for us, but for a lot of the country. And with temperatures expected to be on the cooler side, that could lead to some more snow opportunities. So potentially the first full week of January, we might see more of an active weather pattern. There's still a lot of questions there, and things have to come together for exact snow chances. But we'll keep an eye on that for sure. Possible freezing, of course, with temperatures bouncing all around. That's a big question as well, because we will drop a little bit into the freezing temperatures this evening. And again, that's going to lead to that potential for some icing out there, minor ice accumulations. And then I'll go ahead and show you your 10-day forecast again, because those low temperatures, a lot of them dipping into the freezing territory, and even high temperatures Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, not even lifting above freezing for a lot of areas. So that's another thing to pay attention to. This time of year, we've got snow on the ground. We've got the chance for rain and freezing rain tonight and into tomorrow. Definitely have to watch your step and be careful out there, because we want everybody to stay as safe as possible. So that kind of wraps it up. I'll end with the Shoreline 10-day forecast here, as again, we are monitoring just the chance for some ice accumulations for really all of the state, most of us, at least a glaze of ice, I would say, on those untreated surfaces. The snow, think of the snow as you're walking across that tomorrow morning or late tonight, even this evening, going to be just a little slippery out there. So, somebody just asked, how was my trip home? I did go home to Missouri, and we were seeing temperatures in the 70s for Christmas, and then we got all that snow Friday night. It was great, though. Great. Thank you for asking that. I appreciate it. So that is all that we've got for you here today. People are talking about the airports and stuff like that, delays there. Unfortunately, that could be a possibility again later on this evening into late tonight. I'm thinking by tomorrow morning here in Connecticut, things should be a little bit better. I don't have much experience with planes. Obviously, I'm not a pilot, but I've seen that they've had to de-ice planes before. That could be a possibility as we go through this evening. So that could take time and lead to delays. And I'm sure I know we had a lot of delays Friday evening and Friday night as well. That was a crazy system. It looks beautiful out there now, though, so we'll take it for sure. I'm looking out the window beyond the camera here. It's going to be another great day to enjoy outside. Get the kids out to go sledding, whatever it might be. Do that shoveling, of course, and treat those sidewalks and driveways before that ice rolls in later on this evening. Remember, 6 p.m. to 3 a.m., 6 p.m. tonight to 3 a.m. tomorrow, and then rain with mild temperatures. Windy on Monday, windy and cooler by Tuesday, maybe a few flurries to ring in the new year. And us here at NBC Connecticut will keep you updated through the rest of the year and into 2026. This is actually my last show of the year, which is but it's crazy to think that 2026 is right around the corner. I hope you have a great end of the year and a great start to the new year. Keep it here with NBC Connecticut. We'll keep you updated. We've got you covered, of course. But have a great rest of your weekend and stay safe out there.